Hey, everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank.
And I'm Dan.
And coming up on today's show, on the second half, we're going to be talking about the Pope and his big mouth.
He's got a big old mouth.
He's got a Pope-sized mouth.
Yeah. He could
don't know
fit
what that means,
He
actually.
could fit that whole hat.
The
right
whole
in.
is just... wow.
And believe me, there's some men at the Vatican who are happy
They
about
appreciate that. Yeah. Takes his
Good Lord.
dentures out. Opens his big mouth.
Oh, you gotta love it when it gets gummy. You gotta love that. Anyway, we'll be talking about him in ways other than sort of strangely veiled references to fellatio.
Not very veiled.
Not very veiled.
I think that was pretty
That was pretty
up there, Dan.
forthright. But that's later in the show.
Yeah.
We'll get to
Or
that.
can be. I mean, I could just keep talking about it.
Right. I want to start out the show with a quick notion. We're going to talk about it again later, but I just want to throw this out there right at the top of the show. There's a new button on our website, Frank.
Ah, indeed.
And it's to help us get to the podcast awards, the Academy of Podcasters Award
Yeah.
ceremony in Fort Worth, Texas.
Fort Worth, Texas.
Which we are finalists for.
Yeah.
And we would love to. We are going. We are going.
Yeah.
We just need help monetarily.
Paying for it. Yeah.
So if you guys want to, we'll talk a little bit more about this later. But just so that you know, if you go to thankgodimatheist.com, there's a new button on the right side of the screen. You can click it. You can help us out. I just want to throw that out there at the beginning.
I think that's great. And what's amazing is in the 7 days between first announcing it and now, we're 30% funded for what
It's not even 7 days because people didn't even hear about it until. I mean,
I'm saying by the time
you listen to
by the time
this.
people hear this,
It's important that people know that we're recording on a day that isn't the day that it drops because there are going to be people who donate between now and the day that it
That's
drops.
possible.
And I don't want them to feel like we're not thanking them.
well, right, but we're 30% funded, Dan.
We're only.
I'm saying I think it's pretty impressive.
It's amazing. It's it's remarkable.
Right.
Yeah.
But we still have some way to go.
Yes, and
Yes,
we'll
I
be
think that's what
we'll
you
be
were getting at.
thanking our donors
Later on.
later in the show.
Later on. Yeah.
Anyway, do you have something for us?
Yeah. Another case of someone with a big mouth. This is the story of a Muslim leader who went on the radio in France.
Well, that was his first mistake right there.
Yeah, and sort of had an offhand, casual remark that blew the fuck up.
Okay.
He's noticed that in France there are a lot of empty churches, Christian churches,
Sure,
which is what churches are. They're Christian edifices. And he was thinking that maybe they would, maybe they could be used as mosques. And he said so on the radio.
He's not wrong. I mean, there's a whole.
Yeah, if the Catholic Church wants to give up.
France is secularizing quite dramatically, and I'm guessing they could consolidate several congregations to, one cathedral per.
Oh, yeah.
Per whatever number of people. And
yeah, well, this is, it's caused quite the response.
I'll bet.
From conservative Frenchmen.
Yeah.
And French women.
Mm-hmm.
There have more than 40,000 French folk have signed the Hands Off My Church petition. Churches that they didn't care about 1 week ago, and now they really, really, really care that they stay. That Catholic thing.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if half of those petitioners haven't been to Catholic Mass in like 6 years.
Oh yeah. Well, they probably do hit the
Their
Easter
and Christmas.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised though. I mean, the
Catholics.
Catholicism in France, in Europe in general, is more of a culture than it is a religion. It's not what you do. It's just what you are.
Yeah, I can't speak specifically to France, but I know they take it pretty seriously in Italy.
Well, okay, Italy's different. France is the same. I mean, France is very Catholic, but
you're going to have people who are very religious.
Yes,
and you're going to have people who,
and this kind of a thing
in their family aren't all that religious.
Yeah,
but nonetheless, my guess is many of these 40,000 French folk would probably be fine with those churches turning into discotheques.
Sure. A community
community center, apartments.
Yeah, almost anything. But
Muslim?
A mosque?
A mosque?
I think you're pushing it.
Ooh, that's
nobody
too much.
want.
That's too much.
You don't want to see
that's a travesty.
The cathedral of Saint whatever suddenly has minarets on it, and everybody would just be very upset.
No.
Outside on the outskirts of Paris, there's a basilica in the Saint-Denis region of Paris, which Saint-Denis, Saint Denis, is sort of like that area is very like if you go there, it's all Middle Eastern people. Like or Northern African people. It's all those guys.
Okay.
So it's largely a Muslim area.
Yeah.
But boy, I can't imagine. I mean, Saint Denis, the Basilique Saint Denis is not going to be turned into a mosque anytime soon because it's actually of importance. There are several former kings buried there, and
sure,
like that. But just your run of the mill everyday sort of
little thing,
little cathedral, not a cathedral, a little church,
a little neighborhood chapel of some kind, whatever.
Give it to. You're not using it.
No, you're being greedy.
You're being stupid.
Church greedy.
You could be making money off of that thing.
Charge them rent.
Yeah. Sell it to them.
Charge
whatever.
them rent.
Okay. Frank's really into the idea of being a religious landlord right now.
You let him take down a couple crosses.
Sure. Yeah, that Jesus guy's probably got to go. They believe he's a prophet.
They don't like the imagery. Is the problem? That's the. But anyhow.
Anyway, that's true. They're not into imagery of any prophet, let alone. I mean, Muhammad is
people in general.
Yeah,
but they really get upset about religious.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take down all of those images.
Yeah,
and just some Arabic writing might be nice.
They love that.
Might be
calligraphy.
Yeah, a little bit of that. It just. Yeah. I mean, it looks graphic. It's nice. It's all squiggly and stuff. It's fine.
They like geometric shapes.
They do like those shapes.
They decorate with shapes a lot.
They're really into shapes. All right, I'm going to move on. Pompano Beach, Florida.
Okay.
Small town in Florida.
Okay.
Was recently rocked. The city commission was recently just taken aback.
No.
Because someone claiming to be a Satanist wants to give the invocation at one of the city commission meetings. And they didn't.
I really think it's the Satanists' time.
It is.
It's really their time.
It is. This guy didn't seem to have any connection to the Satanic Temple, which is whatever. So he might actually be a Satanist.
The real Satanist.
Yeah, this guy might.
It's their time. We need another group to step forward in this country,
to rise up,
to keep us all on our toes.
Yeah,
I say it should be the Satanists.
Keep us honest. Yeah. Get in there, Satanists. Yeah. So they didn't have any rules in place that would prevent this horrible occurrence. This Hail Satan
did they have
prayer,
to let it, or did they just cancel the meeting? Like, what did they do?
They've changed the rules.
Oh.
So in a 4-1 vote, they've adopted a new policy.
Someone voted against it?
Yeah, apparently, which I think is great.
I'm amazed. Okay.
It still allows, because they know that they need to stay on the windy side of the law with this.
Okay.
So this still allows someone from any religion to pray.
Okay.
But here are the rules.
Okay.
The religion, the congregations that qualify have to have they have to be recognized by the IRS as a religion. So no made up at home sort of religions. Okay. I'm probably okay with that one. Okay. That makes sense to me. They also have to be easily found in like the yellow pages or like
Google
online or whatever. They have to have you have to be able to find them in some way. Should a question arise as to the authenticity of a religious congregation, the city clerk shall refer to criteria used by the Internal Revenue Service to qualify for tax exempt status, and they must be compiled. The congregation's list shall be compiled by referencing the listing for churches or congregations or other religious assemblies in the annual Yellow Pages phone book published by the city of Pompano Beach, or research from the internet and consultation with local chambers of commerce.
Is this a largely a retirement community?
I don't know anything about
because
this community.
The whole Yellow Pages thing, that's old people.
It feels old. It feels really,
like,
really old.
Yeah.
Here's what they don't...
You gotta be in the Yellow Pages.
Here's what they don't understand. They're fucking with the wrong group. Because if Lucian Greaves gets a hold of this, he'll be like, okay, well, let's get us in the Yellow Pages then.
Yeah. It's not hard. You just pay the fee.
Yeah.
Get a phone number.
He'll get them in. They're just what they think that they've done is prevent it. What they're actually going to do is
guarantee that it happens, and maybe not next couple months.
No,
but next year sometime. There's a Satanist who's saying a prayer,
and I got news for
Satan.
You. The Satanists are going to say, "Hey, we'd like to be in every month. Can we come in every month? No? How about every other month?
Yeah.
How about they will just paper them like crazy?
Yeah."
I want it to happen. I'm excited.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm
tempted to join the Satanic Temple and then try and pray at some meeting here in Utah. I'm tempted to do it. It's the only IRS recognized quote religion that I would even consider joining. I don't even give a shit about
which city council would you hit?
I'd either hit the city council,
like Salt Lake City Council,
okay, or I'd try to get into the legislature somewhere.
Legislature would be interesting.
Yeah,
that's where you would have like Salt Lake City. They'd probably just be like, ugh.
But okay. I'd love to get into get into the Senate or the House. The House is really where I'd want to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The House of the State House of Representatives. That's where the kooks are.
Local Satanist Daniel Beecher.
Right. I'd have to have a sit down with my in-laws before the news hit. Okay, you guys.
I think it's just a stunt.
There's going to be a thing that happens.
I'm still atheist.
You're going to be horrified.
But believe me,
here's what this means.
But isn't my being atheist so much more palatable now?
Right. Don't worry, I'm not a real Satanist.
I would need to secret cam you and put mic you for that conversation.
Oh yeah, that would be
because that would be
quite a thing.
Amazing. Amazing. I would just need to hear it.
It doesn't even matter how well I explained it. There's no way that would...
Oh, they'd never hear it.
They'd be okay.
No.
It's just, it wouldn't matter how well I did it. They just wouldn't be able to understand.
Every few years, Dan, it seems like you just need a little...
If Jesus himself came and sat next to me and said, you know what, this is fine, you guys. They'd still be like, nope. I don't get it. Nope, not okay. Not acceptable.
He's preaching my gospel up there.
Yeah,
all right. So, Dan, a few episodes ago, I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say 4 or 5 episodes ago.
Okay.
You brought up the story of a university, right, in India that had on their admissions forms added a third gender.
Right.
Right.
Or a third box.
A third box.
For
Was it a fill in the blank and
it was,
check
it was kind of it was kind of other. You could be male, you could be female, or you could be
none of the all of the above.
Right.
Okay. Or something.
Right.
Some variation.
Right.
Of something. All right. Well, there is a third gender community that has a long-standing tradition, actually, in India.
Okay.
The Hijra. Did you bring that up?
It was brought up, I think, later by somebody. I don't know.
Okay. Well, nonetheless, it's a very, very interesting group. These are folks who are born intersex.
Okay.
Meaning that their genitalia doesn't conform to either male or female,
Right.
sort of understandings of genitalia.
Indeed, there are
Medical.
There are variants on the two most frequent
Right.
gender presentations of genitalia.
Yes, exactly. I think that's a wonderful way of saying it, Dan.
I'm very smart.
Well, so what happened is in April of 2014, the Supreme Court in India ruled, and this creating sort of rights of transgender persons, and this is where this space for the third box came from.
Sure.
Right. And so actually on governmental forms now in India, not just this one lone university, you can be sort of in this intersex transgender space now.
Sure.
And so the Hijras, who have held a longstanding religious position in their communities, largely cast off and by society, and then they find these communities of other Hijras, apparently. And they have a tradition, since they do not conform to, this binary understanding of gender, they throw off all categories. And so they're also sort of interfaith or interreligion, religious as well. So while a lot of them might grow up Hindu, they also practice Islam.
Okay.
So much so that they want to do pilgrimage
Okay.
to Hajj, and they do.
Okay.
They typically, in that scenario, will shave off their hair,
No.
allow facial hair to grow in,
Okay.
and dress as men, and on all official documents, put down that they're men.
Okay.
And then they go and they participate in the Hajj as men.
Wow.
Then they return to India,
Yeah.
where they go back to being this third gender,
Interesting.
right? And so, what this
They're
is
at the
called-
Hajj. They're just like not telling anybody about their vagina.
right? Or that they're also Hindu,
Right. Right.
right?
Yeah.
In that case, they're vaginaless Muslims.
Right. It's just what? Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, if you really ask them, they would say, "I'm a both on all the things."
they're probably smart enough to know that
Yeah.
in Saudi Arabia at that
Yeah.
moment,
Oh, yeah. You don't say that.
you play along.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what India has done by recognizing a third gender, that all newly born intersex children will be categorized as, their official travel documents won't show them as being male. It'll show them as being intersex.
Oh.
And they won't get into Saudi Arabia.
No. No, those guys don't like that.
This is like crazy town.
Oh, the the people who are roundly rejected
Yeah.
by Islam won't get to participate anymore. Aw.
I know.
It just seems so self-loathing to even want to participate in something, to belong to a club that won't have you for a member.
Right, but they just love all religions, apparently.
Oh. Well,
and they want to participate, Dan.
Well,
Aren't you outraged?
well, how do you be outraged by a group of people who are like, we hate almost everybody, and then they follow through on that?
Oh, well, no, not that.
Well, I'm saying like the Saudis are acting like Saudis.
Yeah, no, I know.
So I'm just like, well, no surprise there.
Yeah. Although it wasn't Saudi Arabia, but also heavily Muslim country of Iran. I watched that Vice documentary not too long ago on transgender people in Iran.
Not a great place to be transgender.
It's better to be transgender than it is to be gay.
Really?
There's actually a space in Iran for transgender. They officially perform transgender operations.
Really?
Yeah.
And they're not hateful about it.
No, because they'd rather that somebody. So, like, if you're this is the problem.
As long as whatever you end up as, you like the other kind of person, you're okay.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. So, a gay man
who becomes a woman
still
likes men,
so he can be with men.
Oh my God.
It's totally fucked
So
up.
that's not actual. I mean, what you just described isn't even transgenderism. It's just.
Well, here's the deal. It's there are definitely those who are transgender,
right,
who are able to benefit from this fucked up policy in Iran, right? But the documentary made it seem like there's probably at least a portion of that group that gets the operation who are just gay men.
Oh, well,
so it's really sick. But it's crazy that
they're okay with it
in a totally like Islamic nation like Iran.
Yeah.
That there would be a space for that. Transgender is this issue that it just confounds people.
Boy, until you get that electrolysis, you're wearing the full burqa. I'll tell you what, you got to cover up that beard, lady. Frank is
somehow you've missed the point.
I'm trying to. It's more fun that way. I'm going to move on.
Thank you.
Oklahoma, one of our favorite places because woohoo! The crazy seems to concentrate in a little bit.
It happens.
So there was a ruling this week. A bunch of universities in Oklahoma have been a bunch of Christian universities. These are specifically Christian universities.
There are plenty of those in Oklahoma.
Yes, indeedy. Including the Southern Nazarene University, Oklahoma Baptist University, Oklahoma Wesleyan University, and Mid-America Christian University. They didn't even want to admit that they're in Oklahoma. They're just Mid-America somewhere. They all were part of a lawsuit against Obamacare because they didn't want to do the controversial contraception mandate.
Oh, just a horrible thing.
Which companies
abortion prevention? You mean?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, they're against abortion prevention.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
They now this is the same mandate that the courts have now bent the rules on for companies like Hobby Lobby,
right?
Which are considered quote or not quote, but are considered small family-owned companies.
Hobby Lobby is just a small business,
just a small family-owned company. But that's how the court saw them. Anyway, the court has now. So this group of universities won their suit in a court, in a federal court. However, it went to the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals, which is in Denver, and has been overturned. And now they are required to participate in providing the contraception.
Really?
Yeah. They were not allowed to opt out. The court said that that this was not onerous enough on their religious practice to merit an exemption.
And yet Hobby Lobby was allowed to exempt out.
Yeah.
A business. I mean, you could argue that these schools, I mean, they're religious in nature. Like by definition, they're religious.
Uh-huh.
Hobby Lobby, by definition, is not religious.
I know.
And yet they're being okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. There's inconsistency out there.
The court said, quote, although we recognize and respect the sincerity of plaintiffs' beliefs and arguments, we conclude the accommodation scheme relieves plaintiffs of their obligations under the mandate and does not substantially burden their religious exercise under the RFRA or infringe upon their First Amendment rights.
Fantastic. Cool.
So there you go.
Contraception.
There was another case, and I couldn't figure out if it was related to this one, but it happened at the same time, so it's related somehow. But it was a bunch of nuns were suing for the same thing.
Oh, really?
And they got the same answer.
Interesting.
So
because nuns and contraception,
I'll tell you what, they probably
need it.
Those nuns are dirty, dirty girls.
Yeah, they don't want to be getting pregnant.
Don't kid yourself.
That's kind of taboo.
Don't kid yourself.
Amongst nuns.
They're having the sex. They just don't want the babies. Because they may be married to the Lord, but they're having an affair with somebody else.
Some priest somewhere.
Yeah. And the Lord's not going to get him pregnant. He only did that once.
Yeah. No, he's careful.
He's very careful now.
He uses the best contraception.
Right.
Available.
The don't exist method. It's a good one.
That's pretty good.
And well, you won't get pregnant, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Dan, you've heard about these Jehovah's Witnesses before, haven't you?
The J-Dubs.
Yes.
They came to my door a few weeks ago.
Oh, did they really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It was not exciting.
This little neighborhood you got here is active.
It's a weird
place. Religiously active.
Yeah. In many, many ways.
In many ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah, and I said it too. All right. They have there's a group of people who used to be Jehovah's Witnesses. Have you heard of these people before?
The Fojos? Can I call them that?
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
The ex-J-Dubs.
Uh-huh.
Oh. I just realized that this is on Reddit. Anyway, they have put up a billboard.
Okay.
That is basically, it's en route to to the spot where the J-Dubs are going to be going for like some big conference.
Okay.
And the billboard, let me see if I can get a good picture of it. My picture went away.
Oh,
and
dear.
That makes me very, very, very upset. Here they are.
Yeah.
So it's a big billboard. They're calling out the Jehovah's Witnesses on this child abuse issue. Have you heard about what's been going on with Jehovah's Witnesses? Apparently, there have been a number of court cases where there have been allegations of, of child abuse.
You're telling me
that
a religious organization was covering up abuses to children? It's unheard of.
I know. But here is the official Jehovah's Witness or Watchtower policy, right?
Right.
That has come down to the congregations, if that's what they're called.
From the tower.
From the Watchtower. And this says, if the accused denies the accusation, the investigating elders should try to arrange a meeting with him and the accuser together.
Oh, God.
Note, if the accusation involves child sexual abuse and the victim is currently a minor, the elders should contact the branch office before arranging a meeting with the child and the alleged abuser. If the accuser or the accused is unwilling to meet with the elders, or if the accused continues to deny the accusation of a single witness and the wrongdoing is not established, the elders will leave matters in Jehovah's hands rather than report to the police.
As opposed to the law,
Right.
which says you don't leave it in Jehovah's hands, you leave it in the hands of the police.
Right. But Jehovah's Witnesses aren't so keen on law, on man's law.
No.
Right. They're all about this Jehovah guy and his law,
Right.
Which they find in their version of the Bible. Anyway, they got a little frog in my throat. So the billboard is this. It has a picture of a woman with her mouth taped up in sort of an X form. And it says, "Is there a child molester at your kingdom hall? Would the elders tell you if there were?" And then it also says it in Spanish underneath it. And it says, "Find the answers at jwawake.com."
Oh.
So they're going after these folks.
They're watchdogging.
Yeah. And so I went to the website, and it's all very interesting. Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah, except that Jehovah's Witnesses are discouraged from ever looking at anything that could possibly be considered anti-Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, but let's say you're the mom of somebody who's been molested. You're probably...
You're going to go to that website. Or even if you're
there's a chance.
If you're the mom, right.
There's a chance that you might. And I think that's all that they're...
And if you're a mom whose kid has suddenly gone quiet on you, that would be a good place to go.
Absolutely. So that's out
or a
there.
dad. Dads are protective of their kids too.
Yeah. Yes, you're right.
So
It's just when I think of religious couples,
you think of the mom as being
I
the
think
one
of the mom as the one who's usually has more of a heart.
Right.
But maybe that's my parents I'm really talking about.
Indeed. Yeah. Well, that's horrific, and yeah, I mean that's one of the main functions of religion. It seems is to help cover up child molestation.
It does, doesn't it?
It's pretty common everywhere you look.
Well, what surprises me is that, I mean, I get the J-dubs because they're so fucking weird about like the law and like.
Oh yeah, they want to separate themselves
There's no
out.
power higher than Jehovah's power, so to obey the nation's law is like, and for the most part, they're in line with it, right?
Yeah, right. But they don't go to the police when they need to. When they're legally required to do so,
right.
They still don't.
Because that would be acknowledging the police as having a higher authority than Jehovah.
Right.
you can't do.
Acknowledging that there's anything that's of value outside of their community.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is
so it's so they go on this sort of two accusers rule or something like that. If there are two people with accusations, then they report it. But if there's only a single accuser, they don't report it.
right.
For the same person. So, but anyway. Yay, religion.
Yay. All right. Well, I'm going to go to Copper Hills High School in West Jordan, Utah.
Yeah, the largest high school in Utah.
Is it?
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it is.
Here's what I do know. Something horrific. Which is that they have... So a bunch of kids apparently got an assignment, a homework assignment from their sex ed / health class or whatever the class is.
Right.
Now, Utah is a weird place. I can't always predict what, like, if this were in Oklahoma or Arkansas or, Alabama, I would feel fairly confident in predicting what kind of sex ed the kids are getting there. But in Utah, half the time it's like right-wing nut job, and half the time it's like, well, the science doesn't back that up, so we're not going to do that. Elizabeth Smart would be very angry at us if we did that, and you just don't know.
Right.
Well, here's a good answer. Here, a homework assignment that was sent home with the kids. The directions for which are Use the following list to complete your abstinence contract. Carefully read through the following list and circle any statements that stick out to you personally or apply to you or are important to you. Number 2, choose at least 5 that are your favorite or most important to include in your abstinence contract. 3, write the 5 or more statements neatly in your abstinence contract. And then 4, sign and bring to the next class period.
Oh, okay.
These statements are things like, I refuse to use others for my physical needs. I refuse to be used by someone else to satisfy his or her physical needs. I refuse to risk getting pregnant or a girl pregnant. That's worded badly. There's a whole bunch of them. There's 28 of these.
Oh, my. And you're to pick 5, you said?
You're to pick 5. I refuse to jeopardize my future relationship with my spouse.
Okay.
I refuse
Not really clear to me.
I refuse to lose control of my life, my future goals, or my dreams.
You're exposing something. Like there's we've got grammar and spelling issues here is what I'm picking up on.
Indeed. Also, I refuse to lose control of my self-respect. Oh, no, to lose my self-respect. A lot of these really reveal, like, what this person's getting at.
Right.
I refuse to let anybody push my physical limits / boundaries I have set. That I'm fine with.
That's a good one.
That one's great.
Yeah.
Then, I refuse to think of that sex is love and love is sex. I refuse. What was the good one? Let me find the one that I was like. There are a few of these that are like. There was one about abortion. That was like, oh, I refuse to live through the trauma of an abortion. Again, getting back to and my high horse has really struck a chord in like the members only lounge. But I'll tell you. It's the narrative that abortion is inherently traumatic is stupid. But there it is. I refuse to live through the heartache of putting my child up for adoption. Again.
Oh, my God.
Their narrative is just so... I refuse to feel the emotional harm that comes from premarital sex, guilt, disappointment, worry, rejection.
Yeah, it probably will be disappointing.
Well, it can be. It certainly can be. Depending on which of these your partner has circled.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You might suffer disappointment.
Share notes.
Yeah. Let me see your abstinence contract because I want to see where you're at. There are some Utah families that are up in arms about this.
Okay.
But most, I mean,
what are they saying exactly? Like, because that's another thing. Conservatives can find very interesting ways to be up in arms.
Yeah.
Such as they're probably just upset that, I don't know, that the word sex is being used.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think you're going to get a bunch of people who are fine with this, but there's also, I mean, it's the standard thing, right? The whole point is that abstinence-only sex education has been proven in study after study to be the least effective way of getting kids not to be pregnant,
right?
And not to have
abortions,
or
to prevent abortions,
right? To prevent abortions and to prevent STDs and all of that stuff.
Yes.
This is the worst way you could possibly try to do that.
Yeah,
because the kids, they have the sex.
Yeah, they do.
It's what they do.
Yeah.
Having been at one point in my life a teenage boy and knowing what it feels like to have that flood of crazy hormones just pumping through you.
Yeah.
I was a devout Mormon. Did that stop me from touching boobs? No. Boobs won. That was it. I believe firmly that God does not want me to do this. I believe that I will go to hell if I die right after doing this and don't repent or whatever. I believe all of that stuff. Does that stop me from doing it?
Right.
Nope. That's not going to do it. So,
okay.
So, yeah, there you go. Even in our fair state, or maybe especially in I don't know. Our state is so weird. You guys don't even know.
Yeah.
It's impossible to predict.
Yeah.
Half the time it's going to go crazy right-wing nut job Christian.
Yeah.
And half the time it's going to be like wildly liberal, and who knew?
Let's provide housing for everyone.
For all of the chronically homeless. Sure. Why not?
Like, sure, I'll take it. But
yeah.
Why? How did this policy happen?
Right.
In radically conservative Utah?
Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Ba-boom.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dan.
Yeah. So if you kids out there have any questions about sex education or things that you want to teach,
If you'd like to know more,
if you'd like to know more, don't come to us. But if you'd like to tell us something, you can write to us at podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
or you can leave us a voicemail 424-666-8442.
Yeah, that's always fun. We got a few of those this week. That's great. Also, we if you want to interact, there's the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist.
And also on Facebook, you can search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge, where you can request to join, and maybe someday soon, Dan will let you in.
It's getting harder and harder. We're getting a lot of people, and I vet every single one of you bitches, so if you have to wait for a little minute,
yeah, just be patient.
Just be patient.
Be patient.
We'll get
It'll
you
happen.
in.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to listen to James David Manning.
Pastor Manning. We've heard of this guy before. This was the guy that at one point claimed that Starbucks had semen in their coffee.
Yeah, well, he's got more semen to talk about.
Here we go.
I want to ask you if you have ever been injected with the sodomite demon. Have you ever had that demon injected in you? Now, I tell women, I preach this all the time in our church, I say, if you have sexual intercourse with a man and he plants his semen inside of you, that semen, whether it makes you pregnant or not, enters into your blood system. Your womb is a place for the receptacle, and it goes into your blood system. And whatever he has in his blood is in your blood. And for instance, if he has a disease in his blood through his semen, and the semen is the cream of the blood. Semen is produced by the blood. It is the cream. It is the power. It is the cream of blood. That's just no other way to say it. It isn't blood itself. It is even more powerful than blood. It can actually produce life, semen. But if a man puts his semen in you, I teach women that, and if it's disease, you're going to get that disease. You're going, whatever that is, whether it's AIDS or syphilis or one of these other diseases, you're going to get it because it's going to go right into your blood system, right through your vagina, right through your womb. If a man injects himself in you, if a man injects himself in another man and injects his semen into him and he's crazy, then that's going to get in his blood as well. And if demons are in him, then those demons, you're going to get penetrated by demons. You're going to get penetrated by demons.
I bet you want to be penetrated by a demon.
Ew. Maybe.
If he's hot.
Depends.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
I'm thinking about that right now. But I don't know about a crazy one though.
No, because you'll
I don't
catch
wanna
his
catch crazy.
No, you don't want to catch crazy. This guy.
I've been careful to not catch crazy for a very long time.
Do you feel like this guy might have been penetrated by a demon? He seems like he's caught some crazy. He seems like he might have caught some crazy.
Crazy came from somewhere. I don't know if it was.
I was very appreciative of the biological lesson, though.
I didn't know that.
What you do? Here's what you do. You take some blood, let it separate out. You just skim off that top part. You're going to have you some semen. That's the cream. That's the cream of the blood.
Oh, God.
That's going to be some good semen right there.
Oh, God. What is he talking about? What is he talking about?
He is talking about crazy. He found himself some crazy, and he just decided to spout it. I'll say this. I appreciate his use of his willingness to use the right words for things. vagina and semen and whatnot.
Sure.
He's not using euphemisms. The seed
Right.
goes into your receptacle. I mean, he says it's a receptacle, but he says that the vagina, the womb is the receptacle, and the passageway to that is the vagina and all that stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't say hoo-ha.
Right, exactly.
Your uni or whatever.
If you put your ding-dong into her hoo-ha, and his flotsam comes out, and it's the cream of the blood. The cream of the blood.
That is one of the choicest things I've heard in a very long time.
Oh, my God.
I probably scared my neighbors this morning when I came across it. It was pretty funny.
Cackling. I'll bet you were just positively
I was cackling. And I was like, oh, I hope Dan hasn't seen this yet.
I can verify that he came over and was like, do you have audio? Because I've got audio. I've got audio. It's so good. Oh, my God. I've got audio. I'm like, okay, let's listen to it. You were so excited.
It was good. It's a good one.
We've had some folks contact us.
Indeed.
And I thought we'd get to that. A person who wishes to remain anonymous wrote in to say she just wanted to add another leg of support to our stance on abortion. She says, I had one about 6 months ago, and I've never been so thankful for the availability of a medical procedure in my life. Being forced to have a child would be the absolute worst thing I could ever fathom. Condoms and birth control are definitely not 100% effective, as I so frightfully experienced. So thankful for Planned Parenthood. It was a long day waiting, but I was all smiles when I left at the end of the painless 5-minute procedure.
Wow.
She says there were about 7 of us in waiting room C that day, and we bonded over the situation, and we're all in really good spirits after someone broke the ice, and we all started chatting. Everyone was so thankful for the availability of Planned Parenthood. On more than one occasion, a nurse came in and told us to keep the giggling and joy to a minimum because it, quote, wasn't a place to celebrate. But we all politely disagreed and informed her that this is indeed a cause for celebration, as none of us were fit to be mothers at this time in our young lives.
That's fantastic.
She said, I am 100% pro-abortion, pro-contraception, and pro-sterilization because, damn it, there are too many fucking unwanted children on this planet and too many unfit mothers and absentee fathers.
All right.
Yeah.
There you have it.
I'm very happy to hear that. We need to start changing the messaging on abortion because it's not this tragic moment in a woman's life. It can be.
Yeah.
It can be. But I think a new report just came out this week that said that 95% of women who have abortions have no regrets.
Wow.
I believe it.
That's amazing.
You're fixing a problem.
Well, yeah. And I mean, if it's viewed as a medical procedure as well, I mean, that's the...
Yeah. Yeah. You're just getting rid of a parasite is what you're doing. Anyway, so thank you for that, Anonymous. We have a voicemail. Want to play something?
Yes. I'd like to, well, let's just play it.
Okay.
Hey, Frank and Dan. This is in regards to the story in episode 188 about the people who sued over conversion therapy, calling it consumer fraud. Can't help but think that maybe religion could be considered one of the most successful cases of consumer fraud in all of history. I mean, the level of devotion required, the tithing, the purported consequences of not believing, the promised rewards for following, the indoctrination of future generations. I mean, holy shit. Sorry. But has anyone ever tried to sue, like, a religious institution over consumer fraud? I mean, probably be kind of tricky. But anyway, I'll have to do some research on it. Just wanted to say I love you guys. Love the show. Shout out to all my homies in the members only lounge. Artle Bartle.
Well, okay.
The answer is yes. People have tried to sue.
That can't imagine it goes very far.
That falls under the legal jurisdiction of good fucking luck. Not gonna happen. Maybe in 100 years or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good point. But then again, what do they promise? They promise almost nothing. They promise things that could never possibly be verified.
Right. Eternal life.
Sure.
forgiveness.
Go ahead and prove that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Once you can, you're golden.
Yeah.
You can sue them all.
Yeah.
Let's get those physicists working on those lawsuits. We'll get him.
Yeah. I don't know about that, Dan.
Yeah, it seems unlikely. I'm going to go to Jacob wrote into us. Thank you so much for the content y'all supply. I really love the show. I'm in a suburb of Fort Worth, and in addition to donating to your trip, I would love to buy you some beer or dinner or something, even if it's just sending a pizza to your hotel. Keep up the awesome work, and good luck with your award. I read that because I wanted to mention that there's been a call put out by others also for a meetup in Fort Worth.
Oh, fantastic.
So,
okay.
I think we need to do it. I think we're out there the 31st through the 3rd of August. We check out on the 3rd of August. You've seen the itinerary, Frank.
Okay, all right. That seems longer than it should be.
Well, no, I mean, that's when we go home. That's a travel day. So that doesn't count as a day.
Okay.
But so the award ceremony is the 31st. We can't get you guys into that, unfortunately.
No.
But
the 1st and the 2nd are, I mean, there's a convention going on, but
which we'll go to, but
we'll attend.
But
do we have? I mean,
we haven't even looked at the schedule yet.
Schedule or anything. So at this point, you guys suggest something,
and
because you're the locals,
and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, and we'll help coordinate.
Yeah. Okay. So that call is out. If you are in the Fort Worth, Dallas area.
Yeah,
and
DFW.
you want
the metro,
the Metroplex.
Metroplex, yes.
The DFW Metroplex.
Yes.
Or around. Plano, I'm sure is part of that. Metroplex.
It's somewhere in Texas. Somewhere in Texas.
Anyway, if you want to be part of this, join the members only lounge, because I'm guessing some of it's going to happen there. But just somehow let us know that you want to be a part of it, and we'll get you onto the email list or whatever, whatever it ends up being. We'll sort it all out.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, that's going to happen. Do we have one more voicemail?
We have 2.
Oh my goodness,
2 more. Okay.
Get 'em in.
So this is someone also down in Texas calling to respond to a story that I did last week.
Hi, Frank and Dan. It's Desert Dave down in San Antonio. Haven't called you in a while. Was just listening to your latest episode, and I loved the way you covered the Saudi guy that's doing the television show. Every summer they have a series called Taj Mahtaj, and it's something different every year. And this year it's selfie. It's caused a lot of controversy. The incident you mentioned with the 2 Saudi guys, for people who aren't familiar with the Middle East, it would be the closest if maybe people would rate if 2 Irish guys met at an airport and started talking about their love of beer and gambling, and then found out that one was a Protestant and one was a Catholic. So it'd be the same kind of a thing that would happen, because the Sunnis actually cheered for the Jews when the Jews were fighting the Shia in Palestine a few years ago. So that's how that conflict lies. But I appreciate what you guys do. Keep up the good work, and hope to meet you in person at one of the things someday. Take care.
All right.
Well, I mean, just drive up to Fort Worth. And you'll meet us in person.
It's a very small state.
These
tiny. Cities are actually incredibly close to each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump from San Antonio, which is at the very bottom of the state. So no problem.
Yeah, that's not a all day drive through the night drive.
Yeah, you and I have done that drive. We survived it.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for your input on that. That Sunni Shia thing. They don't get along.
They don't.
Can't we all just get along?
I wish we could.
Anyway.
You want me to play the other one?
Yeah, do it.
All right.
Hi, Frank and Dan. This is Christian from Salt Lake City. Just wanted to share a story with you. I go to school at Utah Valley University, which is a public institution, but I still have to deal with a lot of Mormon crazy. The other day, I had a professor tell us he believed Bigfoot was real because he is Cain from the Bible, cursed to roam the earth with dark skin. Yeah. Just wanted your non-Mormon listeners to get an idea of the bullshit we have to put up with. Anyway, great show, and I still need approval in the members-only lounge. Cheers.
Well, we did get Christian into the members-only lounge.
Good.
Just
finally.
So
you know.
Finally,
he'd been
apparently.
waiting, Dan. Way too long.
On the whole Bigfoot thing.
Holy crap.
That's fucking awesome. That's so amazing. What's amazing is that people are willing to admit these beliefs. It's not that they believe it so much, but that they're willing to admit it.
Yeah.
That Bigfoot is Cain, marked with darkness, walking the earth.
So it's one guy. All of Bigfoot sightings have
It's
been
why
one guy.
he's so hard to find.
Yeah, that helps explain it a little
It's
bit.
not that there's this species of big feet.
I thought he was one of the 3 Nephites, though. That was...
Well, maybe they haven't been marked with darkness. If it were the 3 Lamanites,
Oh, you're right.
then we could know.
No, these guys are light and delightsome.
They are
Or white and
they're
delightsome.
white and
according to
delightsome.
the original text.
Yeah, so Cain walking the earth. I forgot about Cain. There's all of Mormon lore has all of these people eternally walking the earth.
Wait, is that strictly Mormon? I don't.
Yeah.
Is Cain walking the earth is strictly Mormon?
I think so. Yeah, that comes from like the Pearl of Great Price or something. One of those.
Really? I didn't know
Joseph
that.
Smith revising the Bible.
I did not know that. That is news to me.
And I'm not positive on that. I think so though. But so thank you, Christian, for that
Thank you very
update.
much.
Keep us posted.
Yeah, it sounds like you're in one heck of a class.
Yeah, I don't know what class that is. It's probably math. That probably has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, we do have some donors to thank.
Yes.
As we mentioned at the top of the show, we're enlisting your help in getting us to and from this thing in Texas.
Yeah.
And feeding us while
So
we're
far,
there.
we've had a great response.
We've had a great response. Look, you suggested we're about 30% there.
I think that seems to be the number.
A part of that, and a huge chunk of that, was that Angela stepped up to the plate like a crazy person.
Yeah.
And really and just an amazing donation from Angela.
Yeah.
So so huge shout out to you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
She's going to be in Salt Lake at some point.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she's so we expect a beer with you.
Yeah.
Angela.
At this point.
Anyway, we insist upon it. It's absolutely mandatory. You can't come to our town and not have a beer.
Yeah.
Some other people to thank. Shelley had a one-time donation. Now, again, these are all people who went to Thank God I'm Atheist, clicked on the button on the .com, which is a web page.
Yes.
Then they clicked on the button on the side of the screen that's got the Atheist Awards thing on it.
Cool.
Or the podcasting awards thing. It's not atheists.
Because that one we know we would win.
Totally. Totally. We would win that for sure.
There's no contest at all.
Right. But the podcasting awards is a bigger thing.
We'll have to see.
We'll have to see. Anyway, so Shelley gave us a thing. Her message to us was, godless heathen in pot-smoking hippie Portland, Oregon.
Oh.
Wants you to take yourselves to the Jiggery Pokery Podcast Awards.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either. She says, may the spaghetti monster bless you. Thank you for that. Another donation from Danny. One from Shane, who says, good luck, guys. Well-deserved nomination. One from Caesar, who is not of our country. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, thank you.
One from Susan, and one from a name that's more of a title than a name, and I don't know how to truncate it, but Wedding. We'll just say Wedding. Gave us a donation.
Oh.
And Christopher and Peggy have all donated to that campaign. So thank you so much for that. Please, if you feel like you can break apart a little bit of money to help us out, we'd really appreciate it. We also have a new subscriber who is Tim. So he's a monthly subscriber now.
Oh, right. I was like, are we now?
We're a subscription-based
mentioning names of people who clicked subscribe on iTunes.
No. A monthly donor.
Oh, there we go.
To our podcast.
That's fantastic. Thank you, guys.
So thank you all so much.
It means so much to have your support.
It means the world to us.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's have a conversation, shall we?
Yeah. Let me get my iPad.
About the Pope.
Yeah. Okay. The Pope.
He's kind of gone a little off the reservation lately when it comes to, like, you expect the Pope to talk about religious-y things like your Jesus.
Yeah. How exactly does that transubstantiation thing work?
Right. You don't ever expect him to tell you how it works.
No, but you expect him. That's the realm.
Right. Yeah.
Jesus loves you.
Yeah. All that sort of thing. And
forgive those that trespass against you.
Maybe you'll hear that.
That's what you expect from
what you don't expect to hear is like criticisms of macroeconomic theories or political concepts.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been getting a lot of from Pope Francis.
And by and large, I'm really glad he's opening his mouth.
Yeah.
On these topics.
All right. Well, why don't you talk to us a little bit about what he's been saying?
Well, okay. So what you've probably heard on Fox News is that he hates capitalism. He hates the proven established way of creating wealth and lifting the middle class, blah, 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 creating opportunity and freedom and this and that, right? Well,
what could possibly be wrong with that?
Why would he be criticizing it?
Right?
Yeah. So he definitely is going after some problems in the capitalist system. He's saying that a lot of the ways that countries are interacting with each other, with sort of your first world, wealthy nations, I guess that might be a better way of saying it, is your wealthier nations are almost engaging in a what he calls a new colonialism by through their economic policies and through lending, through the IMF and the World Bank and all that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
And so he's worried about the effect that these policies are having on the sort of those with the absolute least in this world, right? And maybe all they've got, maybe they're a farmer with a little bit of land, and they're in Southeast Asia somewhere, and some big multinational corporation comes through and needs a spot to put in a factory. Well, tough luck for the little farmer.
Yeah.
And so he's calling for
as it should be
an establishment of of sacred rights, he calls them, which are labor, lodging, and land. That we need to be working these guarantees into our system, because it is more and more a global system, and
it is,
and it's so easy to forget the conditions that workers are in let's just say China. As a great example. There have been a lot of stories in the news through the last few years about conditions at, say, like the Foxconn factory, which makes all, like the iPhone and iPad and whatnot, which, I've got.
Yeah, sure.
And you have.
Well, no, mind you.
But it's easy to just have your fancy new device and to kind of forget about, the conditions of
who made it,
right, and what they're going through, and the clothes that we wear, and all these things that we benefit greatly from in the first world. And he wants us just to be, not just thinking about the suffering of workers in developing countries, but actually he would like to change the system.
Yeah,
and that's what he's calling for,
and it's freaking people out.
It is. So here's a couple things he said. Let's see. What's a good Popey quote? Let's not be afraid to say it. We want change, real change, structural change. The Pope said, decrying a system that, quote, has imposed the mentality of profit at any price with no concern for social exclusion or the destruction of nature. That's also worked into this is the fact that we're destroying the planet, that this current system is destroying the planet. And so I don't know how far he's really going with his denouncement of capitalism. I don't know if he's saying we need to completely get rid of capitalism.
No, but
And
he has criticisms of how capitalism works.
Exactly.
So, for instance, here's one thing that he said. He said, quote, "Some people continue to defend trickle-down theories, which assume that economic growth, encouraged by a free market, will inevitably succeed in bringing about greater justice and inclusiveness in the world. This opinion, which has never been confirmed by the facts, expresses a crude and naive trust in the goodness of those wielding economic power and in the sacralized working, that's a word I don't even know, workings of the prevailing economic system." And so I agree with him on this. Like, I don't trust the wealthy people who are benefiting most from from a capitalist economy to trickle any of it down.
Right.
They don't do that. They keep. They like to keep.
Yes, they like being wealthy.
Yeah, it's enjoyable to them.
Obscenely wealthy.
Right.
I think it's an important discussion that we need to be having as a society. And I'm actually really glad that, because here's the thing. You can be a good old-fashioned hippie, right? And you can show up and you can protest when the World Bank has a meeting somewhere,
right,
or when the IMF is meeting somewhere, and you can do that.
Yes.
Right? And it's not just hippies. I'm overly, stating who
it's
shows up.
Mostly those stinky long-haired hippies.
But what I will say is that it's people who are outside the realms of power.
Right. Yeah.
And so what's really nice,
if you're yelling the words "mic check," you're not having an impact.
So what's really nice, though, is that the Pope, somebody who does have a real microphone, and has the world's attention, and has he has something to say, and he's getting heard. Now, I don't know if that people are listening,
right?
But
they're sure screaming back at him.
Yeah,
I'll tell you this. It's interesting to me that he's saying these things, because to me, there's something about the way that he's talking that is just, all he's doing is not being a hypocrite about believing in Jesus, and then actually following through with what Jesus had to say.
Yeah. No,
because Jesus was fairly unequivocal about the whole, hey, if you're rich, give all of it to the poor.
Yeah.
Or, overturning the money changers' tables at the temple.
Yeah.
This feels like it's in line with that Jesus. And that's the Jesus that I know. The Jesus that I've accepted as my personal Lord and Savior.
I didn't know this about you, Dan.
No,
this is news.
The Jesus that I've read about.
This might be problematic for the podcast.
Yeah, we'll sort it out. We'll figure it out. Whatever. Jesus is cool like that. So
Thank God I'm atheist and Dan believes in
Jesus. Thank God. Well, I don't believe in God, but I believe in Jesus and the divinity thereof.
No, but that's a great point, Dan.
I mean, it just seems like there's all these Christians out there just railing about, blah, blah, blah. And the real reason is because they want to hold on to their money.
Yeah.
I'm in a position of power. I'm in a position of privilege. Don't fucking take it.
Right.
I need that.
That's tough.
Well, I get it. I'm a privileged guy myself. I'm a straight white man.
You're not giving up being straight. You're not giving up being white.
No, you can't take that away from me. I would gladly give up the privilege. I want everybody to be
being silly.
I know, but the point is that privilege is hard to give up. You have to actually confront yourself and look at it and go, "Oh shit,
yeah,
I'm getting a way better than fair shake out of this."
Yeah,
and that feels awesome. It's amazing to get a better deal than other people are getting. Like
You have a coupon nobody else knows about.
Right. If you walk out of a car dealership and you just killed it, and you see all those other suckers walking in and you're like, oh, they are going to ream you. You are not getting a good deal. You feel great. It feels good to get the best deal. However, when the best deal, getting the shaft means that the other people are like, not eating, not having a good living environment or whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck my privilege.
Right.
Fuck that. And the Pope seems to at least be paying this tiny bit of lip service to that fact.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's not taking many actions yet.
He's giving speeches. He's writing shit down, Dan.
And there's a lot of people that listen to him and kind of have to go, oh, he's the Pope. Maybe I should consider this.
Oh, and I think
they won't.
I think there's a lot of people, though, who are going to be very encouraged by this.
Yeah.
And I think that has value. I think that people seeing someone standing up for them
it's
is
important.
really, really important. And, part of that privilege that you talk about, Dan, is recognizing that you might just need to pay a little more for a new shirt.
If my iPhone costs $20 more, I'm already paying $600 and something for it.
Or more.
Yeah. If it costs $20 more, and it means that the workers who make it actually make a living wage, that they can actually have a house, and that they can be safe, and they can be fed.
Part of an emerging middle class in China. Oh, that'd be awesome.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Make me pay more.
Yeah.
And you know what? And even more so for the creation of yachts and luxury vehicles and stuff.
Yeah.
I just pay workers.
Yeah.
Like, we expect that in this country. We demand that everybody, some of us do.
Dan.
Some of us do demand that everybody have decent working conditions and decent, and enough money to actually be able to feed a family and all of that sort of thing.
Though we're struggling with this issue right now.
Americans are stupid. We're just stupid. It pisses me off. I'm mad.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry.
There goes the email account right there.
I've been seeing a lot of things on my Facebook where people are like, why should we raise the minimum wage? You're working at McDonald's, you're not supposed to feed your family. That's not supposed to be your job. That's a teenager's job. I'm like, well, fuck you. How about because you're the same person that was screaming about them, not having a job. Well, they got a job and they can't feed their family.
Yeah.
I'm grumpy
if you're not
about
a
it.
skilled laborer, or
if you live in a country like the U.S. that doesn't give you skills, we don't provide the training for free.
No, they're working on it.
If we go to if you go to Germany or the Netherlands or whatever, they'll give you the training. You'll get the free college education.
Right.
Not here.
No.
Good luck with those bootstraps, asshole. That should be the motto. That should be the motto on our money.
Yeah.
Good luck with those bootstraps, asshole.
Yeah.
Is the American motto.
Yeah. Because you're going to need it.
You're going to need it.
You're going to need lots of luck.
Yep.
LOL.
Thank God I've got this privilege still working for me. Sorry, rest of you. Anyway.
I know, it is sick, though.
Anyway. If you have things that you want to say, and I'm guessing you do.
Now you do.
We've given you something to say. Right into us. Go ahead. Podcast at thankgodimatheist.com.
Or
you
can leave us a voicemail.
Yeah.
We love to hear your voice.
3 this week. It was a trifecta. It was a hat trick.
Yeah.
I love it.
Great. 424-666-8442 is the telephone number you can call.
Right. That's 424-666-TGIA. It's so easy to remember.
Yeah.
All you have to remember is the 424 part. The rest is just Satan's number and then TGIA.
Then our number.
And then thank God I'm atheist. So all is well with that.
Yeah.
Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGI Atheist.
Or also on Facebook, you can search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge. and request to join it.
Right. If you want to help get us to Texas, one last reminder, go to thankgodimatheist.com and find that button on the right side of the screen, and you can help us out with that.
Certainly will appreciate any and all help.
Right.
So,
yeah, I mean, if you can break off $5, $2, that's fine. If you can break off, 20, 50, that's great. It's all welcome. It's all greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
Thanks to Mackenzie for doing the Facebook page that she does so well and so diligently.
Absolutely. And thanks to the Red Rock Hot Club for letting us use their music.
It's just fun every time I hear it.
It is. I know. Never gets old.
Thank you, dear listener, for tuning in once again.
Yes. And also,
quick,
don't forget about the Google Hangout, folks. If you're a $15 a month or more donor, you are eligible to join us in a hangout. It's going to be the last Monday of every month. That's from now on.
Right.
So that means we're looking at the... When's the last Monday?
The 27th.
27th of July.
A week from this Monday.
Okay, so that's coming up. And so please be looking for an email with instructions.
Right. And if you don't get that email, write into us, and we'll make sure we get you on the list.
Absolutely.
So thanks to everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.